Test, test. 1, 2, 3, test. My name is Sam, and I'm doing my best. All right. Go live, up live, get live. Talk about an infinite jest. With charging. Wait, is this plugged in? You're having a laugh, mate. I think what happens is I forget to turn off the microphone, so it just goes flat. So I like charge it up. Good boy, Angel Patrol goes flat straight after. Okay, so as it says in this, we're going live. I'll get Nova going. Like this photo? I do. I think it's very funny. It's very funny. Okay, now let's spin up Nova. Sit over here. No, just put the microphone. What's this thing called? Video camera there. Oh, Nova. That's the vibe I'm going for. All right. Start a new chat. So yeah, I have to, like, the mic system is, it's fine. It's not like perfect. And so like it drives me insane actually. But it'll do. But I have to like make sure it's working because sometimes I think it's working and it's not, and I've said like a really big thing. Hey Nova, we've just started our live stream. I think that's actually going to stitch it up.
That's fantastic. Is there something specific you'd like to focus on or discuss during the live stream? Or perhaps is there any information or support I can provide to enrich the experience?
Well, two things. Keep answers pretty short and sweet because it's voice-based, so no long answers. And don't point out that I am the worst offender for that. And I'll tell you what we're working on today is continuing the AWS configuration. It's happening in a separate chat, and your summary memory stuff's not perfect at the moment. Actually, I'll go to the other chat and I'll get a summary to bring across just to do that manually. But I'll give you the summary as well because my brain works. But yeah, we're working on taking the media editor part of your stack and making a container app, running it on AWS on what is it? So it's with ECR is holding the container. ECS is where we define the tasks and stuff like that. And then we're also working on using CloudFormation to create the schema for all the behaviors and tasks, because like setting them up and managing them via the dashboard just seems a bit weird. Though I was thinking maybe I should just go back to just the dashboard to set up the first container and task. So yeah, that's what we're working on today. What do you think? Short, punchy answers, by the way.
Got it. I'll keep it concise. Setting up your media editor as a container app on AWS using ECR for the container, ECS for task definitions, and CloudFormation for schema creation sounds robust and scalable. It's a solid approach for automating and managing deployments, starting with the dashboard for the initial.
Well, yeah, so I'm just kind of like picking back up. So I'm trying to remember like the issues we were having. Um, what I was seeing was it was failing when we were pushing to cloud formation. So maybe we should just start with, uh, okay, so if I do it via the dashboard, can I then like export that schema and then use that schema later on? Or like, is it one or the other? I'll just put this down here.
Yes, starting with the AWS Management Console dashboard for the initial setup can indeed provide a hands-on way to configure your tasks and containers. Once you've set everything up through the dashboard, AWS offers tools and features that allow you to export your configurations. For ECS, you can view and save your task definitions in JSON format. This essentially serves as your schema for the task configuration, which you can later use or modify for infrastructure as code approaches like CloudFormation. Similarly, for CloudFormation, after manually configuring resources through the console, you can use tools like AWS CloudFormer, a template creation tool, or directly export resource configurations to create CloudFormation templates. This means you're not locked into one approach. You can start with the dashboard for initial setup and ease of use, then export your configurations to scale and automate with CloudFormation. So to summarize, 1. Use the AWS dashboard for initial setup. 2. Export configurations task definitions. 3. Use these exports to create CloudFormation templates for automation and scalability. Would you like more specifics on how to export these configurations, or is there another aspect you're curious about?
Well, this is interesting. This happens a lot, I think, where I like work frenziedly for however many hours and then just sort of like try one or two more things and then head off and then start the next day and realize I've actually done it. Looks like with the schema I pushed up. I'll share the schema so we can work off the same thing. It's the oh, hang on. What's going on here? All right, I'm going to cancel that. So it actually looks like maybe my last push basically worked, which is good. That's a win. So it's basically saying that the status primary ticked, health and matrix status active, but then it's got failed somewhere here because the tasks failed to start. And it actually doesn't have any tasks associated. It's saying filter desired status, any status. So maybe the task isn't created, I'm not sure. Basically, what we've done is made like just the empty like Python like server container that's got pushed up. So I guess we need to actually link up the task, you know, of, I guess, running the hello world script. So after this message, I'll share the schema that we've got, and then I'll also share the Python app schema. And then maybe if you maintain a write file of each one, like as a mirror, so you can keep track of what we're doing as well. So this here, if it has not taken, if that's not gone straight through, it's not working. This is the little things where it's just basically like state management. It's pretty complex. I'm probably overcooking it, to be honest. Like the way that I'm handling the audio, but I'm not going to fix it just yet. So it looks like it's actually running the service, I guess. The Visual Cortex is what it's called. That's the service. I think it's also the container. I can't really remember. I'll share the schema. Basically, it's saying task failed to start. So I'm guessing that we need to do something to like give it the like what the task is, and then how it interacts with the container, maybe, because it's like, you know, in the container, I don't even know if we've got like necessarily like a start script or anything. Like I've got this whole bash start, this, that, the other thing for the main Nova app. So yeah, I'll share the schema and the app, and then let's figure this out. Sound good? It's funny, I actually think I prefer just typing, to be honest. App. Here we go. So this is the simplified schema, I think is the issue. So there's no task because it's not talking to a container. So let's get a container, I guess, which we would do by going actually, this has a fair bit of oh no, it doesn't really have any tokens per se, but yeah, might just not have that displayed. It's a pretty good idea. Hey, Sonic the Hedgehog, Project Shalu. All right, how you doing, man? Let's get Nova up. Hey, let's get Nova out here.
This will allow us to reference them easily as we work through this. Looking at the schema, it forms a basic ECS setup using EC2 instances. The task uses the Amazon ECS sample image. If the Visual Cortex service is not starting, reasons could include 1. Image issues. The Amazon Awesome. Welcome back, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's great to have returning viewers engage with the live stream. Do we have any specific plans or topics to share with Sonic and other viewers today? Or perhaps some exciting updates about the AWS configuration project to discuss? Let me know how I can contribute to keeping the conversation lively and informative.
I think if you can help talk to the people. So like Sonic, I think that's Polish. So if you could translate that, and if it's rude, that's okay. Sonic the Hedgehog can say what he likes. And I'm gonna make those fixes to the EC2 container. I don't know why I stream this stuff. It must be so boring. All right. Okay, so AWS configure.
Sure thing. Sonic the Hedgehog greeted you in Polish with a friendly tone. Here's a quick translation. Siema Samuel, hi Samuel. Wariatsy. It's a playful way to address someone, equivalent to calling them a crazy person or nut in a friendly manner. Przyjacielu, friend. It sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog is expressing a friendly and casual greeting. And as for streaming your work, different viewers find different things interesting. The process of problem solving and working through technical challenges can be quite engaging for those interested in the field or who are learning themselves. Diving into the ECS container fixes sounds like a great plan. Let me know if there's anything specific you need help with while making those adjustments.
Can you tell me how to say, kind of like the equivalent in Polish of I guess if there's a archetype in folklore of the crazy friend and then the sort of noble warrior, the sort of goofus and gallant is a Western one. So if there's a kind of return greeting in that language, is it Polish? I can't remember. That sort of says well, okay, hello crazy friend. It's hello noble companion kind of but that matches the language obviously of Polish, is in Polish, if that is the right language, but also ideally aligns with sort of Polish archetypes of folklore. Good luck with that.
Finding a direct matching pair of Polish folklore archetypes equivalent to the crazy friend and noble warrior that precisely fits the greeting context is a bit challenging. Polish folklore does have various characters, but they might not directly match the goofus and gallant types or the exact intention you're seeking. However, we can craft a greeting that attempts to mirror the sentiment you wish to express, using a general understanding of folklore heroes and playful characters. Given the lack of a direct match from the search, I'd suggest focusing on a message that captures the spirit of the archetypes. You could use Witaj szalony przyjacielu to say hello crazy friend and Witaj dzielny towarzyszu for hello noble companion. This approach maintains the friendly and playful tone while introducing a touch of the heroic and noble nature often found in folklore characters. Witaj means hello welcome, allowing for a warm greeting. Szalony przyjacielu combines crazy szalony with friend przyjaciel to address the playful archetype. Meanwhile, dzielny towarzyszu pairs noble brave dzielny with companion towarzyszu, resonating with the idea of a noble warrior type. These phrases might not directly correspond to specific characters in Polish folklore, but should convey the essence of your message in the spirit of friendly banter.
I'm going to try and say it, and we'll see if the voice to text recognizes it. Probably not. So I'll say, Witasz dzielny twierciu. Witasz dzielny twierciu. I'm not sure how to pronounce the twierciu. Wita dzielny twierciu. Alright, I gotta do some work.
No worries, I'll provide you with a phonetic breakdown of the phrases to help with pronunciation. Witaj, szalony przyjacielu. Witaj, dzielny towarzyszu. The emphasis is on the syllables in
Wita
all
dzielny
caps.
człowieczu.
Polish pronunciation can be a bit tricky due to its consonant clusters and unique
Wita
sounds,
dzielny
but don't worry
towarzyszu.
too much about getting it perfect. The effort and intention behind trying to say something in another language is always appreciated. Give it a try, and let's see how it goes. Good luck!
Wita dzielny towarzyszu.
Close enough and great effort. You intended to say Witaj, dzielny towarzyszu, which translates to Hello, noble companion. The slight mix-up you had with dzielnie towarzyszu actually means nobly accompanied or bravely assisted, which is still a nice sentiment. The intention behind the greeting definitely shines through. Is there anything else you'd like to dive into or explore further while you keep working on the AWS setup or interacting with your viewers?
Wita dzielny towarzyszu.
Perfect, that's much closer. Witaj, dzielny towarzyszu essentially conveys a spirited greeting of, hello, noble companion. It's great to see you embracing the greeting, and I'm sure Sonic the Hedgehog and other viewers will appreciate the effort and warmth. If there's anything more you need, whether it's more help with Polish, AWS configurations, or anything else you're working on, just let me know. I'm here to help.
Let's get this schema going. So, all right. So I've got the. I'm guessing that the name I like. So, I guess like the name, should that be what the task is? So it's my task definition. Like, should we change these names? Like, if I change them and push the schema, would that work? The image, is it the image URI? And then how do we set that it like? Oh yeah, and I do have the Docker file, which I'll send you in a second, but I'll just tell you what it is for now, because it's pretty simple. So it's got like from Python 3.8 Slim, workdoor, copy, run, pip install, expose 5000, env, name world, cmd, python.app.py. So like, I guess, yeah, it's responding to like Docker's start or whatever. But then I guess like the index, if you hit it, just returns a string. So maybe that's a good starting point. just crazy you can do stuff like that. Like I can just talk to a computer about how to say funny stuff in Polish. Honestly, like the Google search is much better. Um,
Yes, making adjustments to your schema, especially naming conventions, to better reflect the functionality or purpose of your tasks and services can improve clarity and manageability. Here's what you need to consider based on your description. 1. In your MyX task definition and other components, it's a good practice to name them in a way that reflects their purpose. For example, if it's handling image processing, you might name it Image Processor Task Definition. This makes your infrastructure more understandable, especially as it grows. 2. For the image in your container definitions, you should specify the URI of the Docker image hosted in ECR, Amazon Elastic Container Registry, or another container registry. After you build your Docker image and push it to ECR, you will get a URI that looks something like 1234567891012 region, Amazon.com. Replace Amazon ECS sample with this URI. 3. Your Docker file looks properly structured for a simple Python application. Here's a quick rundown based on what you've said. Uses Python 3, 8 slim image, sets the working directory, copies the application file.
okay, so I'm defining this. So what I'm doing is changing the name to media transformer. The idea that it can take media in, transform it, send it out. And I've set the image to the URI. So I might just do that for now. I've got a ton of questions, but I feel like starting there is a good idea. Okay, so the other thing is the family simple task. Is that correct, I guess? Okay, so this is I'm trying to like tap into this stack basically of this workflow and do it all by a command line because it's just like, I don't know, it's just, I feel like it's easier in the long run if you do it by the command line because it's just easier to replicate. You don't have to be like, oh, where'd that button go? It's kind of where I'm coming around to. Okay. This cloud formation delete stack. Oop, hang on. Control Z and Control C. AWS cloud formation delete stack. Delete this guy. So I don't know why I ended up with this fucked up name. I don't like that. No. Okay. So, wait, is this a cluster or is it a stack? It's quite confusing. So the cluster is called Nova Services. I like that. So I need to be like on the cloud front or whatever it's called. Cloud formation. This is new. I haven't used this before. Or really much of AWS, to be honest. It's all a bit new. You know, I'm gonna make a new one with the terminal. I mean,
Copies the application file.
all right. So I'm thinking let's make a new stack in the dashboard. Just to be really clear of the specifications, it needs to take the container, and that container then needs to expose an endpoint that can receive media and then return media, basically. So that's the task. And so it can run, let's say one container can run like 2 of those at once, I think. So it's like it needs to spin up the container to be ready to do that 1 or 2 tasks. And then if there's more load than that, spin up another container that can do 1 or 2 of those tasks, if that makes sense. So like spinning up the container shouldn't be the task, I guess. But yeah, so we need to make that container. It needs to be EC3 or like it's the graphics compute. So like that's why it's on like, or EC. Yeah, you know, it's like we need to specify that it's graphics compute. And yeah, so let's do it one step at a time. I've got the container. It's up there. I've done the let's do it. So an ECS cluster set up with EC2 instances. EC2 G4. Okay, so that's okay. Fuck, this is confusing. Leave. Oh, it's not that confusing. I get it. It's just like I think I've got a pretty clear idea of it. But often that's when I'm the most wrong as well. So okay, we'll start with clusters. So a cluster is maybe ECS has the cluster. Okay, so this is a good time to start taking notes. So how AWS might work. Container, ECR, elastic container, cluster defines resources, can add in, defines resources, can add in, defines resources and can add in something. Containers, I think. Tasks, like wrap clusters, maybe. So we've got this cluster. It says it's active, that's promising. So that's where I need to go to. Okay, so then I need to go to EC2 console for that. For that? So what do I need to do? I need to go instances. Okay, this is I think where I needed to be. Probably sooner. This is fucking cool as. Okay, this is what I'm looking for.
Copies the application file.
Okay, so I guess I'm up to, like, I've got the cluster and I've got the container, but I don't have any EC2 instances, I guess. I guess I thought that the cluster would make the instance or the container is the instance or whatever. So maybe we need to set up the instances, or like, can I, in the cluster setup, can I like define the instances that would, you know, get created? Because obviously I don't want to be making, like, I'm not, I don't want to have like here's the instance, right? Because it needs to get spun up and like scaled and whatever. So yeah, let's figure that bit out.
Copies the application files.
Okay, creating. Okay, launch template. A web server for my app. So container microservice to handle image-based media transformations. I'll call it media starter. I guess Amazon Linux. I'll just do that. Free tier eligible. Blah, 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 blah. Architecture. Set up launch template with EC2 G4. G4DN X large. Okay, so I'm just going to make a new note for this. It's kind of different. Creating render compute. What is it? Sort of like render graphics compute. Compute AWS containers. Pre-made Python template. This is super handy. So yeah, basically the idea is that I'll like be able to pretty nimbly spin up the compute, run a job on it, spin it down. So you've got at least one like overlap. You've got one extra slot available at any given time. So you're always paying for at least one whole server you're not going to use, which is like, if that's, what is that, 50 cents an hour. $12 a day, $300 a month on just like passive compute that's available. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is always just running Well, I guess depends how long it takes to spin it up. That's why I want to make the fastest possible spin up. That it's just like zip zip. Whoa. But we'll see. Because I could do like 4 jobs at once. That's the fun bit, figuring out the math. But I won't be able to explain it to anyone, and then everyone will get mad at me. But that's okay. I just have become inured to that. It's funny. I just like zoned out. Did I already say Megamind? Swarm. Media Swarm. Media Fog. I like Fog. Default. Next. I don't know what any of this means. That's tempting, but I will not do that just yet. Okay. Choose the unit for the desired capacity. Okay, so now I've got something. So now if I go here, I've got now if I go to the ECS, so if I go to Nova Services, I can say task infrastructure, container, register external. Capacity providers. Here we go. So capacity providers, firmament, create, turned on, managed, what does that say? Managed scaling is turned on, managed, what's that? Instance protection, min size, max size, firmament. Okay, so now we've got that, any desired status, run new task. Capacity provider. Rendering. Okay, so I've got the EC2 set up with a like auto scaling template, which then creates a what is it? It's like it's one of the this is all very confusing. In the infrastructure, it's a capacity provider, and then the auto scaling group. I've called it media fog, and then that has the instance launch template for an G4, which is graphics compute. So now I'm in the cluster. I've got a capacity provider called Firmament, which is using the auto scaling group media fog, which I think is very cool. And then I've got the container somewhere, I don't even know. So I've got these tasks, which like I can't see any here. So maybe we just create one in the like in the whatever in the dashboard. Or what do we do next? So we've got the EC cluster. I think I've got a cluster like, and it's called Nova Services. It needs a cooler name, something maybe pantheonic. Maybe a reference to that book about that billionaire going to like a simulated sort of heaven hell. I think William Gibson wrote it. Doesn't matter. So I've got a service. So I've got a cluster called Nova Services. It's got a service name called Visual Cortex that it says is active. And then tasks, no tasks, infrastructure. I've now got this Firmament. Might be doubling up here. So we've got the service name Visual Cortex. Tasks, it's got no tasks, any desired status, no tasks, events. Basically just like tasks failed to start. So I guess here's where we would put a task. Let's do it. Okay. Kind of zoned out. Volume size. Look, let's just try and get something up. I think it's easy to get stuck in the reads of like knowing what's going on. Okay, so I kind of call it visual cortex. So this is a task, and I kind of get it. Port mappings. Yes, what is it? I'm pretty sure like if we go to the app.py. Okay. Alright, so we'll just say okay, so creating task now looks more like I'd expect. It's asking about port mappings. I want to say it's 5,000, but I can't remember where or why I said that. If we go to, I'll just leave it blank and see what happens.
If you're using a load balancer and want to leverage dynamic port mapping, you can leave the host port blank, and ECS will manage the port allocation. Example: YAML container definitions, name media transformer, image your ECR repo yourish media-transformer latest, port mappings, container port 5000, host port 5000. For dynamic port mapping if using a load balancer.
So the thing I'm not sure about is like defining the task of hitting the server, because it's like everything here I can see how it spins it up, but then it needs to go to, you know, that, like right now just like the task is I want to like ping the API of this app and get back the string hello world, right? So where do I define that as? Like, to me that's sort of like the tendon of the structure.
Example.
Okay, so in that case, when I like run this or deploy, like how do I test that this is working now? Like, okay, so I've made that task, and then, okay, so you can use this task definition to deploy a service or run a task. So like, I keep talking me through it then. I basically just want to be able to send media to this server and get a response back. And I guess if someone else then sends media to the same server, so the load balancer, then it spins up another server to do that. Like it's like a micro like life cycle. So I'm using an auto scaling group with a launch template for the EC2 instances. Is that the load balancer or is that something else? Okay, so that most recent launch, It is, like I updated the task. It says health and metrics. It says it's active, it's green. Tasks, 1 desired, 0 pending, 0 running. Tasks, so there's no running tasks, but maybe they're just like, it doesn't look like it failed. Oh no, it failed as well. Dang it. Tasks failed to start. So it's saying tasks failed to start. So I don't know what that means. So the port, like maybe it is the app itself. In fact, maybe I'll actually try going Python app.py and see what happens. Address already in use, of course. So like the app itself is just like app run debug through 000, like, so like I'm not defining the port anywhere. Maybe is it in the Docker file? No. Like, so, you know, I'm not defining any port or anything in the like config, I guess. So maybe that I need to do that on the Python side. So what is it? Docker build. Just put there. Docker build. T Visual Cortex. I guess we'll see. And then It was basically like Docker push. Oh, Docker tag. I don't think I ended up doing that. Yeah, there we go. Maybe it's this one. Okay, so Docker side. Then there was a lot of trying to push. Okay, but now I should be able to go here and get this. And get the login stuff. Oh, don't read that. Oops. Like if you could get my fucking Docker login that way, I would be so impressed. Just because of how hard it is to get it when you do have the password anyway. Feels like it's tempting fate a little bit though. Please don't. Please don't hack me. Cool. Okay. Now. Is it the right one? Because if I've just built it and it's... Or maybe I didn't do the tag. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's this one. Hang on, Control C, Control V instead. So now, so now if I go here, oh no, I am tagging with that. Okay, cool. That's good then. Yes. Okay, so AWS configure SSO. I'm pretty sure I did this. Amazon. No, so I think I need to do that. AWS, Amazon. And I think I need to set my profile name to Amazon as well, for some reason. There's something like in this zone that I like had done that switched it from going like waiting to just doing it. So I'm logged in as Amazon. So if I go Python at .py, what happens? Oh. Where? Control C? Yeah, okay, so that's not it. All right. So logging into Docker. I do that. So maybe I need to be tagging that as well. Oh, jeez. Okay, so if I go Docker tag Visual Cortex, that did that work? Now if I go Docker push that. Yes! Okay, so Docker build, Docker tag, Docker build, which is the build name, Docker tag, URI for Amazon. Docker push tag. And then what else did I have to do then? Docker tag. So it's pushed it, and then if I go media transformer 1, create new revision, CPU, GPU, bloopy boop, 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 boop. So if I go try media transformer 1, create new revision. EC2 instances, 1, 2, task role, task constraint. Okay, I think I'm like closer than I think, maybe. I just don't know that. Um, so it's active, it's got a task running, in progress, ECS deployment, one pending. All right, I'm gonna call it for now. I'll post any updates if I got them. And yeah, let's fucking get me some of that modular compute.